Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. You can see I've got my old set back. I haven't been using this in quite some time. I thought I'd show just a few gifts and pickups that I've got recently, and then I'll do kind of a quick game room tour, kind of an updated one showing you what I've got so far here. So I had an unexpected trip I had to take down. I haven't seen my mother in, God, like 11 to 12 years, a long time. And I used to go down there and do a lot of work back in 2009, 10, maybe even 11, and there I was going down quite often helping my mother and her husband Ray. He's 85 now, my mother just turned 80. And which is hard to believe. It just seems so odd. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen them. They both look older. They're both in good health for the most part. My mother's got some health issues though that have kind of changed her life considerably. And that kind of prompted me to go down and to see her. And so we flew down there and to Ontario Airport, rented an SUV down there, and then I drove up to the high desert and stayed a few days, maybe 4 days, I guess. And then while I was there, I saw my best friend there, who was kind of a mentor. He's 77. He's a Vietnam War vet. Well, apparently he'd been working, and I knew he was about to retire, so I went to his business to see it, and it looks like it had been chained up for months, if not a year. And I'm like, wow, what's going on? So I went straight to his house. He's got a really beautiful, huge house and has all these muscle cars, you know, and stuff. And the house even looked different. It was like no cars anymore out front. I'm like, God, is the house abandoned? What's going on? So I rang the doorbell, and I thought I heard a voice and kind of knocked and listened and almost going to leave. I'll ring the doorbell one more time, rang it, and I heard someone yell, "Come in," you know, yelling. So I went in, and it was my best friend Don, who owned an engine shop in Victorville, California, and built a lot of drag racing motors for me, and a motor for my big lifted Ford Bronco. Did a beautiful balance and blueprinted motor for that, 302, and it built my work vehicle. I had a Buick Century wagon. He built a really nice motor for that, and we used to go down to the Winter Nationals down in Pomona every year to the drag races, and I had given him a couple of my car paintings and some other hand-drawn pictures I had done in pencil and pen and ink, which he still had there in the house. I came in and saw him, and he had this hospital bed set up in his house. And he had had a really rough time in Vietnam. Not once, but twice was shot down. He was shot down in a transport plane, and half of the guys survived it, and they were waiting to get picked up before they were overcome with Viet Cong. And then they were picked up in a helicopter, and then that got shot down. He spent all night going through every ammo box he had with a few of his buddies that were left until his M16 literally melted, warped from shooting so many, you know, cases of ammo for his M16. So he ended up getting a Purple Heart, was wounded in battle, and amazingly survived. Came out of it, went out and bought a brand new, like 1969 vet, you know, with a big block in it, and he's done well ever since, just because, you know, just kind of put it all behind him. Well, he found out later he had broke his shoulder and went in and had kept having problems with it. So I said, why don't you go to the VA hospital and have them do better x-rays? The hospitals up here, rinky-dink, you know, they probably aren't doing the best job. So I went down to the VA hospital down in Riverside, I think, San Bernardino or Riverside, and they noticed that he had cancer. He's got really bad cancer from that Agent Orange that they were spraying in Vietnam. And I guess it's a very typical thing. Many of these Vietnam vets come back years later, they find out they've got, you know, cancer. His spine was all eaten up. He couldn't even get out of bed. So they gave him 2 months to live, but he had lived more than twice that length. So if I hadn't gone down to see my mother, who has her own cancer issues, that's another story. I don't want to get into a lot of details, but she's going through a really hard time adjusting to all of the changes in her life, and I had to go down and see her. And then seeing my best friend Don, you know, just a fraction of what he was. He just looked awful, like a ghost, you know, and he remembered me and seemed very happy to see me. You can tell he was heavily medicated and probably on painkillers or whatever, but I spent a half a day with him. I hadn't planned on that, but I was going to see him for an hour or so, but I spent quite a bit of time with him and saw he still had all my artwork. He just sold the business, was in escrow, and you should get like, you know, close to $500,000 for the business and all the tools and everything there. But he sold off his 69 big block 4-speed Chevelle and all of his, you know, killer muscle cars and Trans Ams, and He had even gifted me a really nice 4-speed, Pontiac 400 non-California 78 Trans Am, which I loved and kept in my backyard. He was going to rebuild the 400 for it, and then we moved and we lost everything in 2008. But anyway, it was a very good visit. I really enjoyed visiting with him, and I saw my other we had mutual friends, my friend Brian and his wife Laura. My wife's Laura too. We both used to go out drinking and go out to eat and stuff, and I went by and saw he's got his own mechanics business, a huge series of garages and his custom engine building, and does everything on cars, and showed me his whole fleet of muscle cars that he has. And I had a nice time. It was just very sad, very somber, kind of a very sober time. And now I work in an independent living and assisted living facility where I see everyone near the end of their life, and then seeing my mother and her husband Ray, even though their health is relatively good in some respects, they're having challenges. They're getting up there in age and just having problems. And Ray still games, and in fact, I was going to buy him a PlayStation 4 Pro, and just so he could play the Red Dead Redemption 2, but he had already beaten it. He already had he's got a regular PS4, but he has that early add-on thing where it kind of added this extra little chunk on the top of the original launch PS4 with a bigger hard drive. He had one of those, and he had like every Assassin's Creed game that was remastered, and on the Ezio collection, all of them. So, and he still had his original fat model, backwards compatible PS3 that still works. So I played Uncharted 3 for about 3 hours and really loved the beginning of that. Had a really good time playing that. Played about an hour at the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2. And then I didn't even know he had the PS4. He said, "Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2? "Oh yeah, I've already beaten it." I'm like, "Oh, you get a PS4? "Oh yeah, it's upstairs with the old TV. He's got a TV just like mine, which I'll show in the game room. But he's got the 52-inch, and I had the 46-inch. He's the exact same model from 2009. So we went up and we played, and I played like 5 hours of Assassin's Creed Rogue. In fact, I just got this 2 nights ago from Alabama via eBay. And you can only get the game digitally remastered, but man, does it look good. Even though it was an Xbox 360, game, which came after Black Flag. In fact, I've got the special hardbound, beautiful strategy guide for Black Flag here, Assassin's Creed 4. And I only played like an hour of this. I never even got to the ship battles. I played part of the tutorial just to see the graphics. At the time, I had so many new launch games, I kind of juggled around and ended up kind of never going back to it. But he loves the Assassin's Creed series. It's like his favorite series next to, the Red Dead Redemption, which he's played like 4 times, and the new one he's only played once, but he wants to go back to it. He's about to retire. He was 85 and still running his business. He rebuilds shortwave radios for all of the ambulance services up in the high desert, but they're about to go all digital and get away from all of that old tech and walkie-talkies and two-way radios, and then he'll pretty much be out of work. So he said, at that point, Dean, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to go through. He's already started at Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins, but he wants to go through all of those, and plus the Ezio collection again, and all of them. So he kind of sold me on the series. I had played the first one with him on his PS3, God, a million years ago when it first came out. Literally, it had been out like 3 weeks, and we played through, God, hours of it. We took turns playing it. And I remember on the PS3 had a lot of screen tearing on it, the first one, but it was unique. I just didn't care for that particular setting in the Middle East and everything. But I do like the one set in Italy, and I certainly love this kind of the American pioneer, American Revolution period or what have you that was in, I think, Assassin's Creed 3, I believe, and then Rogue was kind of a follow-up to that, or maybe it's a prequel, I'm not sure. But Rogue is awesome. God, I really was getting into the ship battles and really enjoyed going to each island and, getting every collectible and thing I could find there and doing the multiple, like, dual kills, jumping off and landing on 2 people, killing them. And I have photos. I would try to show them unfortunately, since Microsoft and all their wisdom forced me to give them my Windows 7, I lost my Sony Vegas 12 that I had, which I could do static photo overlays and fade them in and out. And on my Movie Maker 16, I can't figure out how to do it. I've sat through like 50 hours of tutorials and I cannot figure it out. You can get like a little inset way up in a corner or something, but I can't have the whole image take up the screen yet, so I haven't figured it out yet. I may have to just get a whole new editing program. So sadly, I wanted to show pictures of my mom and Ray, and we had pictures of us playing Assassin's Creed Rogue. In fact, a couple of my friends, I've texted them the pictures via my phone. But we had a really good time. It was a good time and a very somber time. One of the cats I had there was 19 years old, which I remember very well when I was down there painting and visiting years before playing games. And she has cancer, the poor cat, and it was tears in my eyes instantly, because she was just barely, she probably has a matter of weeks left. She's just very thin. She still purrs, tries to purr, and she eats a lot, but it's like, I don't know where it goes. She's literally skin and bones. Looks like an Auschwitz version of a cat. You know, it's very sad. And they have another new little cat, a female cat they adopted in the neighborhood. They're like me, they take in stray cats, and then they end up, you know, taking care of them because other people don't, sadly. And her little name was Rosie. My mother begged me to take her. She goes, we're getting old. We're getting tired of taking care of the pets, even though we love them very much, you know. And could you take her? And I said, I'd love to, Mom. I'd take a whole day trip down, take me 14, 15 hours to drive one way. I'd go down and get her on a Saturday and drive back. But Laura doesn't really want another cat right now. Vinny's 13. In fact, he's just spent like $1,000 having his wellness exam and blood work done. We're about to have his teeth cleaned. It's a lot of money, but we love him. He's like a family member, and to me, I don't care what it costs. I'll spend the money to take care of him. But I would like to take care of that cat. I said, if push comes to shove, Mom, and you know, you just literally can't find a home for her, can't take care of her, then I'll take her. But I urge her to take her. She loves you. You obviously, you're very affectionate. You've already spoiled the cat rotten. She's in the house, and you know, Ray's allergic to cats. My mother's a little bit allergic to them, so they can't even pet the cats. They have to use like a little scratching stick and massage them from a distance. It's kind of sad because the cat wants to be up in their lap and on the bed with them and stuff. It can't be. But anyway, getting off topic. I had a nice time down there anyway, seeing my mom. I'm very tired from the trip and putting a lot of hours in, but it was a life-changing trip. I see the end now more than I ever have before, between my parents and my best friend, and then seeing daily, every day where I work, you know, people are coming and going. Sadly, you know, we had 8 of them die in less than 2 weeks, and it's just sad. You see the end of your life, and you see how short it is, and all the games and movies and toys and things that are so important in your life are fleeting. You only have so much time to enjoy them, and then it's gone. That's it. You know, I don't want to get on a bleak dystopian tone here, but it's been a heavy burden I've been having to kind of weighing down on me, and that's why I haven't made a video for a couple of weeks. I've just had to kind of think about things and put things in perspective. But anyway, getting back to it, I mentioned I had the little community post. I mentioned I got the Saints Row. I bought Saints Row, the 3rd remastered, based on my friend Angel. Thank you, Angel, for this. I went out and got a really good deal, dirt cheap for this, brand new. And then I got this box set edition of the Saints Row, the new reboot, which I played about an hour or so. Now, I haven't encountered, actually I did encounter one bug just in the character creation thing, so I've held off on playing it until they do the patch. Now, on the PC and the PlayStation 4 or 5 versions, they've patched them. For some reason, they haven't patched the Xbox One yet with an update. As soon as they do, then I'm going to go back to playing it. I don't want to go back and play another buggy game and having a Mad Max issue like I did before, but anyway, there's a lot to this. I could do an unboxing of this. I mean, sure, most people don't even care about the game, so I'll spare you the look at those items. But it's a nice box set anyway. I thought it could be the last really good open world game that we get. I do like the setting quite a bit, and the cars and customization does look good. I picked up Saints Row 2 recently. I finally got a good copy of this, found it, and complete, you know, the guide and super clean disc and everything. So I'm curious about playing at least the original 3 games. I'll try to find the Saints Row 3 for the 362 just to have it, you know, for the totally offline version. But it's, you know, it's nice having the Saints Row games. So I've got those now. Oh, and then my friend Steve Baker, who gifted me my Xbox One X, just sent me a really kind package. I'll show a few things here I got from him. He sent me the original Saints Row. I told him, I said, dude, I can't find it anywhere. I said, he said, well, you can get it on eBay. I know, that's a last resort. He goes, let me see if I can get it. I bet I can get it locally here and I'll send it to you. So he found me a perfect copy of it, complete. And it's got everything, super clean disc, and so I'm thrilled to have both of those. 2 open world games I've never played, surprisingly, because I judged them like everyone else as rip-off clones of Rockstar's GTA games. And then he sent me, knew that I had the BMX XXX game, but I was missing the manual to it. I found the game pretty cheap, so he sent me a really nice manual. So thank you, Steve, for that. It's great having, I like having my games complete, especially the 6th gen ones, the 7 series, and 8 series, I don't really care if they have the manuals or not. It's nice to have it if possible, but it's not the end of the world. So, got a couple of things there. Now, he had gifted me this years ago a steel, because he likes steel case games. He sent me this steel case, The Force Unleashed, and it came with like some extra cards and stuff, and nice big thick color manual and all this stuff, but it was missing the first disc. So it only has disc 2. I thought it was disc 1, but I didn't have my glasses on. It has little tiny disc 2, real tiny under this teen rating thing here. So Steve called me up, or we were texting or something back and forth and talking about Star Wars. And I go, oh, by the way, did you ever come? He said, oh, I'll find you the disc. Don't worry, someday I'll find you that disc and I'll make sure you have it. So complete set, because I installed the disc 2 and it installed the vanilla version of the game in my Xbox One X hard drive. But so without looking at it, I said, well, obviously it's disc 1 because it played, installed the game. So he goes, oh, I'll just find you disc 2. So he sends me disc 2, and it's exactly the same as the disc 2 that I have. So if God only knows what he spent, he probably got it off eBay or something. Someone's selling the individual discs. Steve, I'm sorry. I should have put my old man glasses on and went out and looked at it. So now I've got 2 of the same disc. So if you need a disc 2 for Force Unleashed for the 360, let me know. But he said, oh, look, he said, it's my fault. He said, I never should have sent you given you the game without the disc. I never even realized I was missing the disc. I don't even know it's on disc 1, but for me to get all the DLC, to get Tatooine and Hoth and all the extra expansions, it would be about 30-something bucks to buy them or more. So it's kind of pricey, so it'd be nice to have the disc. Again, I don't know whether that's going to grant me the download of the DLC and all that stuff. It's hard to say. But he also surprised me, even though I already have a vanilla version of the game in the original 360 game case, he gave me the Force Unleashed 2 in a gorgeous steel box. Beautiful. Steve is somewhat known as Steelbox Steve because he used to be on, Facebook groups, and he collects Steelbook games. So I got a really nice complete edition of the Force Unleashed 2, which is really nice. So I got both versions. The Star Wars games are nice to have in the steel cases for such a special series. And he knows I love the somewhat mediocre Turning Point Fall of Liberty game, which I bought, and it was missing the case. Had like a generic case, but I just wanted to play the game for the disc, which I did play about half the game. And I found it. I took the manual in it, and I photocopied it and made my own little fake disc, cover, and put it in another Xbox 360 case. So at a glance, it looks like a complete game. And then my friend, oh God, what was his name? I can't remember. My memory's not good. But one of my buddies made me a manual, color copies of it, and so I was thrilled with that and put that in there. So I felt I had it complete. So what does he do? He sends me a nice steel case, complete edition, special collector's edition of Turning Point Fall of Liberty in a steel case. It's got the manuals and posters, military posters. It comes with a second disc of how they made the game on DVD. I think a music soundtrack, something like that. This is one I wanted, kind of a holy grail. So Steve, thank you. This is very generous and very unexpected, and I'm really appreciative of all of these, steel case games, and for the 360 you give me. This is a real surprise too here. So thanks again, Steve, for that. On a different note, I picked up a couple. Some of you guys know I like music and CDs, and I got this last one I picked up was a Megadeth Greatest Hits. Well, Megadeth just came out with their 16th LP, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, and I've got it right here. Man, this thing is great. Awesome tracks. Really a return to the old, really good metal, the old kind of thrash metal, of Megadeth from the first 3 albums. And it's just fantastic. There's a couple really good songs and some nice little kind of MTV videos you can see on their official YouTube channel. So I've been enjoying this. I'm going to find a way to rip them onto a thumb drive, my favorite albums. That way I can play them in my truck. Sadly, my truck from 2021 on, they're no longer compatible with any CD players. So even though you can't get like out of a 2020 or 2019 RAM, the CD player and retrofit it in this, it will not work with the stereo system, which is pretty elaborate. It's like a computer system. So I've got a 1,000-watt 19-speaker stereo in my truck. I'm just sitting here in my garage, and which I'm working on some custom graphics for that. I'll have that done next weekend. I'll do a video of that. I just want to personalize. Spent a year designing these graphics. It's going to look really wild. But great music. Another one that I heard, I've got this Ozzy's Boneyard I listen to quite often. They've got a lot of the metal types of music I used to listen to back in the day on cassettes and my favorite FM stations in California. And I've had this for years, this Def Leppard The Vault, which is like their greatest hits CD. But I had heard some songs on their Ozzy's Boneyard that I haven't heard in years, and they're off their very first album, the High and Dry album. So I got this used in like mint condition and just had this brought in for some really old school Def Leppard. I really am enjoying a lot of my old, heavy metal CDs. I ripped them to my Xbox 360, and then through my JBL soundbar system, I crank them, and man, they sound awesome. And you've got the 360 music player with all the wild, way out 70s, screen displays and stuff. It's very cool. So a little bit of music stuff there. I'm getting a few more CDs of some of my other favorite metal bands lately. I'm going to get a few more Megadeth CDs. I really miss those. And I've got like Testament CDs and King Diamond. In fact, one of the guitarists from King Diamond was a guitarist in one of the Megadeth albums, which is pretty cool. So I like heavy metal. It's one of my favorite things. I listen to like 95% jazz, but when I'm on my way home or on the weekends, I crank up that Ozzy's Boneyard and Sirius XM and have a really good time with it. So I'll quickly show you a little video tour here. Let me just switch gears here and I'll show you around, show you what I've kind of picked up and reorganized a few things in the game room. So now I'm in my garage. I got my truck in here, and it fits in pretty nice. I mean, normally my wife's car is in here. We've done a few changes in here. I've got, I think I had this up here last time, and I put a my wife's Betty Boop neon clock up here above the door. And then we've recently got a little freezer here in the corner. When you come into the garage, it was marked down from 200 to 300 at Costco, so we can keep all of our, frozen meats and stuff in here. If sometimes get lean, we've got plenty of steaks and hamburgers and what have you frozen in there for, we wait until we see things on sale. But, the garage has really turned out nice. It's been pretty clean from day one. I took all these old shelves and sanded them down and repainted them, and then got all new matching bins for them for all my tools and equipment and art stuff. And since I had my back surgery, I've got an exercise bike, which is over here. And I started because I couldn't walk for months, so it slowly get some exercise in that. My wife uses her Bowflex treadmill every day. She's out here every single day using this, and then she's got this if she really wants to kill herself, the Stairmaster thing, which will just give you a heart attack. I don't know how she does it, but so that's pretty much it. I've got my Ghetto Blaster out here. I crank tunes with the stereo. I had this on earlier. I don't know if it's still on. Oh, there it is. And I, play CDs out here when we're, working out together. I'll ride the exercise bike while she's doing her Bowflex. And this is my Ray, my mother's husband, gave me this old 1950 Westinghouse radio, and it actually works. You can really smell the old tubes in it and everything. I got a little bronze statue of an American eagle that my mother-in-law gave me there, and I got my little Maine fishing village. We got a little fridge out here. I've got a little Challenger tin on there. And in here I keep my extra orange juice because the fridge gets pretty full up, so we keep all my sodas, my Diet Pepsis, and Diet root beer and orange juice and stuff out here, which it works great. I've had this for years. The top on it had yellowed, so I painted it silver. to match the, you know, the bins and everything. So this is our little deal. I lovingly took the old Duke Nukem sticker off my old window in my other game room, put it out here, and then I have some Gears of War stickers I put on the window out here. This is my Corvette painting I did, God, years ago, right after I did Mark Bussler's El Camino. This was the last painting that I did, this 2010 Grand Sport Corvette. It's got a little bit of a glare on it because of the clear coat on it, but there's one of my Bud Neon things. And here's my old set. Now, since then, I've added, our neighbor had a sale that moved out in the house next door here. They sold this house, God, for, I don't know, close to $900,000 next door. It's a big 2-story house. And they had these, they bought for the kids all this IKEA stuff, which I'm going to show you. This is one of 3 pieces. For $35, they were brand new. They bought them for the kids' playroom they had inside the garage. So I put all my PlayStation 2 games out here and PlayStation 3 games and a little bit of GameCube and Wii stuff out here. So I've got all my PlayStation 2 games. I usually start with the racing games and then put those first and then go all the way across. I don't have a tremendous amount of PS2, but I have the essentials. Since the original Xbox is my preferred system, I get mostly exclusives for the PlayStation 2, and then I get the multi-plats I'll get for the other one. I get just a few PS3 games, but again, all my essentials. I need to get the God of War Origins collection. That's the only one I'm missing, the God of War. And I got a couple Wii games. We've got a few Die Hard Vendetta. In fact, my friend Silverwings21, I saw he did a live stream of this. I don't know if it was a GameCube version or not of the Die Hard Vendetta game, and I've got, you know, 1080 Avalanche and NASCAR Dirt and Daytona, and I got the 2 Rogue Squad Leader, you know, Rogue Squadron 2 Rebel Strike games and all that. And a couple other PlayStation 2 games and my original SOCOM headset and what have you. And then I got a few Sega Genesis complete box games there. And this is my original set, the 3 shelves I've had for years. I got my chair. This is my cherished, you know, holy grail. The first item I got from my friend Jeremy was this trilogy box set of the Grand Theft Auto for the original Xbox. Came in a nice box set with a nice metallic sheen to the cover. My friend Cameron of Industrial Gamer gave me this beautiful, I don't know if this switch is here, I can turn it on or not. It's got like a little, where's it at? There's this little switch somewhere to it. Oh, in the back, here it is. Oh, the battery's dead and I gotta put, oh wait, there it goes. Has little red lights that light up and the fan goes, but I think the batteries are about dead. I need to change the batteries in it. But it's a really cool little statue that came with a Doom 2016 reboot collectible. Nicely done. I got one of Mark Bussler sent me a bunch of stickers. I put one of those there. This is an actual autograph from the movie Heat. That's Robert De Niro's autograph on there. And then I've got my little, this is the only Sideshow collectible I have, is a Snake Plissken Escape from New York. These are going for hundreds now. I bought this thing dirt cheap and pre-ordered it a year ahead of time, so I was one of the first people to get one. And now they're going for hundreds. They're worth quite a bit of money. I have the original box I've got way up there in the corner. I saved it, and I've got all the extra little hands and parts and guns and stuff that comes with them. These are my PlayStation 1 tall box games. I've got them all here on display. My mother had given me these little Gremlins back when the Gremlins movie, the first one, was brand new, and it comes with the 3 little Gremlins. And then I've got sandwiched between those, I've got my PlayStation 1 tall box collection, starting with Twisted Metal and Road Rash, some of the very first games I bought. For my 50th birthday, my wife got me these Miami Vice little figurines here, which are fantastic. They come with different guns, and you can give Tubbs a sawed-off shotgun or the, you know, the MAC-10. It's pretty cool. Great. And then my wife loves Betty Boop with a little Betty Boop. One of those creepy, God, I forget what they call them, with the soulless eyes, that series. Here's another one of the Twisted Metal clowns, the same series. I forget what they call them, but this is a little cutout I did for my wife for her birthday of a Betty Boop. Cut them out of plywood and paint the edges and pop them like an inch off the wall. They look really good. And I got my Duke Nukem little collector's edition from Duke Nukem Forever. There, a little came with a little bust thing. It's pretty cool. This is a Yoda that answers yes and no questions to shocking accuracy. It's like I'm afraid to even ask it questions because it's never been wrong. It's scary. An autograph by James Doohan here. I've got the original Star Trek little autograph picture here framed, and a variety of this I got from Australia on eBay. This Cars poster cost me a lot of money. It was $100 and something bucks, and then I had it framed and matted for the garage here. This I just put up today. I just mounted this morning. This is my Quake 4 poster that came with they had a new reprint. I don't know, it was around 2011, I think, or 2012 of the Quake 4, and it had a better performance in it, and those versions came with this poster. It says Bethesda on the outside, since they're now the parent company. And so I matted and framed this Quake 4 poster, which really looks nice out here. It's my Mel Gibson drawing. I did it for the Road Warrior back in '82 or so. I did that pen and ink. This is one of my favorite movies, which is Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, an absolute masterpiece in cinematography and writing and directing and acting. Just a fantastic movie about voyeurism in New York City, which is pretty cool. This is my original 2003 Roadkill, a metal embossed license plate that I actually got for pre-ordering the Roadkill for the PlayStation 2. Now I have it for the original Xbox. So I played the original Xbox version all the way through and the PlayStation 2 version. It's my friend Ham Toons, and I think he's up in Oregon or Washington. He did this, he does these really cool cartoons. He did this really awesome Airborne Ranger caricature comic book thing here with the M16, and it's just really awesome. It's very heavy metal and fits the theme. So this is my bookcase. Oh, this is my good buddy Mario in Belgium sent me the Mafia Trilogy physical edition, and a little bit of glare from the damn light, but you can see the only way you can get this poster is if you get the physical version. It comes with all 3 Mafias on it. I'm trying to get around the light source, but it's pretty cool. I just framed that, mounted it to a poster board, and got it up there this morning along with that Quake 4 poster. So, and then I've got a couple little shelves up here. I've got one of my Gremlin dolls that one of my girlfriends gave me, God, years ago, right after Gremlins came out. This is my original box PS2 that comes completely with the styrofoam and all the plastic, and that one's been modded since then. You'll see that in a minute. And then my Destroy All Humans, the DNA Collector's Edition, which I've got on my desk. I've got the box up there. And this is kind of this is my door going outside, which in fact I'm gonna open this up, a little bit of air in here. Lets a little bit of natural light in. It's really nice. But this is the other little unit that I got was a smaller one. And this I have all my racing games for the Xbox 360 on. And then I've got a continuation of my strategy guides down below. And then my good buddy Silverwings 21 sent me this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous wood grain Atari 2600 with working controllers, and he went through and tested all the games. Everything works great on it. There's one of my cutouts I made. It's cut out of plywood. You can see it's really dimensional, and it's airbrushed and all hand done by hand and clear coated. I want to do a series of these for different gaming franchises. I gave one to my friend Cameron out of Industrial Gamer of Call of Duty World at War. There is a Bullet poster, movie poster there. This was one of the only remaining Mad Max demo posters, cardboard displays that I have left. Unfortunately, the glare from the lights gets on it. I don't know if I can shut the lights off. Maybe it'll... In fact, the lights look really good when you shut the lights off. You get like this halo illumination. In fact, here's my bookcase there. That's all my Max Payne 3 collectible. I got the big box thing of that. I have came with the artwork, and I even have the original little key fob bullet that's on a chain. But I have all my Xbox 360 games here. I start with the racing games there, and I finish some of the racing games are on this shelf. I continue what's left of like the dirt bike ones and a few other car combat ones. But So I got all my favorite shooters up in here, and Halo games, and the Fear games, and Mass Effect trilogy I got recently, and all my Call of Duty and Battlefield games, and you know, Rainbow Six Vegas, and all those Tom Clancy games, and some of my favorite flying games in here. This is a little collectibles from the Twilight Zone, the movie, one of my favorite episodes with William Shatner that I love, and this is one of my little bullet die-cast cars of Steve McQueen in the 68 Mustang, and there's the Assassins in the 68 Charger, looking identical to how they did in the movie. So I like cars. I have, I still collect little die-cast cars. I gave most of mine to Mark Busler, Classic Game Room, to review in CGR Garage. So anyway, getting down here, I've got a 1969 Dodge Charger, which I had 2 of in real life. It's one of my favorite little die-cast collectibles. Really good details, a little Hemi under the hood, with twin carbs, twin 4 barrels. Awesome detail in these things. A little 1944. This is one of my good friends that sent me this years ago. This is a backwards compatible Wii that you can play the original GameCube games on, which is awesome. So even though I have a GameCube, it's nice I can play them on this with component cables. And I had this little Darth Vader head that I found in the trash and saved it. And it's really cool. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's neat. And I just kind of it looks nice on that white Wii, so I stuck it on there. But these are the rest of my Xbox 360 games down here. Pretty good collection. I'm pretty happy. I just stuck the Saints Row ones in there right before I turn the camera on, and some Dead Rising, Crackdown, what have you. These are the rest of my strategy guides. I started to get into hardbound, and then the rest of the hardbound ones are here. I'm missing a few hardbounds. I had a box. My wife has a box of kitchen things that are missing, and I have a box as well of I'm missing my Shadow of the Tomb Raider strategy guide. I had a Sakaro, a really nice, thick Sakaro, Shadows Die Twice guidebook. Very nice gift from my friend Michael. That's missing, and some other hardbound ones. Mostly hardbound guides are missing. I don't know where the hell they are. I can't find them. I've been through, I think, all the boxes in the house, and I can't find them. This is my old Monopoly book here. This is a little cup I drew in 6th grade. I did all this stuff with Nixon and Gerald Ford on the other side, and there's a little 007 little card die-cast box set in the back there. But these are my sharpshooter playing cards from Sniper Elite 3, I believe. Yeah, let me see, the case was, over here. Here's a Sniper Elite 3 case next to my Far Cry 4 little collectible deal. And this is my Aliens Colonial Marine collectible. Rage 2 boomerang in the back, and the little Doom lunch kit that came with Doom Eternal for pre-ordering that. These are some little classic Hot Wheels Trans Am Series Corvettes and 1970 Camaros, and a few other little Hot Wheels and what have you. So I already showed all this stuff, but so this is my tall IKEA bookshelf. This got badly damaged. I almost threw it out. I had to glue a lot of things and fix the shelves. They broke this thing all up, but I salvaged it and got it working, and I put my Budweiser up there, and then on top I've got the Mafia poster up there. Again, that Mafia trilogy. It's hard to see without the lights, but it really looks nice up there. In this game room little cutout, my wife found me at Hobby Lobby. Was a nice little cutout of wood stained black, and it really looked nice up there in the lavender. I kind of put it up there just to kind of let me stand back so you can see the whole thing. You see my 2009 46-inch TV. Normally I have the TV on with an Xbox 360 game playing on loop or something, but you can see I've got my Philips Hue strip lights, which you can change to any color, behind the edge of the desk, and also in the little lamp. And then I've got another Philips Hue bulb up in this old Budweiser light, which lights up red, and you can change the color for that too, which is pretty cool. So this is the other little IKEA bookshelf. It was 35 bucks for all 3 shelves. This is the 2 or 3 of them, and it worked out great to put the rest of my 360 games. And this is one of my 2 Xbox 360 brand new E models with 500 gig hard drives. The one inside the house has all the DLC and all my install games that have DLC, so I can preserve the DLC. This one is for non-DLC games. And this is my computer setup. There's a fly I've got on my desk. So I broke my fly swatter. I gotta get another one. But Cameron of Industrial Gamer gave me this really nice, super high def monitor, which looks fantastic. This is what I'll do all my editing for my videos on. And there's a Coca-Cola lamp I bought, God, years ago from a yard sale for like $5 or $10 or something. It's a gorgeous lamp. This is my Wing Commander, the only box set for Super NES that I have. That was the very first game that I bought in the box, brand new, like a Toys R Us or KB Toys or something like that when I bought it with the Super NES. And so it's nice to have that back in my collection. Oh, here's a little collectible. Yeah, this is the Destroy All Humans. Beautiful collectible, the flying saucer kind of crashing, and you got the little aliens, controlling, doing, the ESP or whatever on the cow and manipulating it. It's pretty cool. And then I've got several Grand Theft Auto for pre-ordering Grand Theft Auto 5. This is one of 3 posters I have. I've got 2 other beautiful ones inside I need to frame. I just don't know where I'm going to put them. So I framed one out here. This is a little Star Wars thing. You can put it on. It has little LEDs. I don't know if they still light up. They do, yeah. So the Death Star has little lights that light up, and some of the little lights on the TIE fighters, lasers light up and stuff on it, but it's pretty cool. My battery went out, so I got to carry around an extension cord. This battery pack is just losing steam on this thing bad. But this is my Mad Max poster for pre-ordering the game, which I pre-ordered it 2 years before it came out, like in 2012, and it took years for it to come out. So maybe even close to 3 years. And I got a little Hobby Lobby little tin here. Do not, there is no try. I always love Yoda's words of wisdom. It's the closest thing to Wayne Dyer you're going to get, I think. Fantastic, kind of a 3D effect of the, X-Wing fighters from Star Wars. And there's my other matching shelf. I have 2 identical shelves, and I just kind of put my big box items. There's my Terror Billy from Wolfenstein 2. I've got him up there. I should take him out of that box, but I love that old, kind of a 60s style toy box of how toys were when I was a kid. This is one of my favorite Parker Brothers games, which is Dealer's Choice. Sadly, it's a 3-player or more game. So I never have a third person, otherwise I'd play it with my wife. But it's a fantastic game, it's complete. I bought it off eBay. There's my box for my, Snake Plissken Sideshow collectible. Got a Vanishing Point, one of my favorite movies from the early 70s up there. This is another Ham Toons little drawing. He's the one that did my Airborne Ranger caricature there. He did this of a 70 Cuda, which is really cool. This is my favorite movie for a drama of all time, is Interiors from Woody Allen. Just an absolute masterpiece from the late 70s. This I paid a lot of money for, and then I framed it myself. But it's a fantastic movie, highly, even though I bag on female protagonists, and so it's not that I don't like women, I just don't want to play as one in a game. But I do like this story is primarily about 3 sisters. But it's such a powerful drama with fantastic actors, United Artists picture. I'd highly recommend this. I have it on DVD. I need to see if I can get it on Blu-ray. There's one of my early Budweiser collectibles. I did 2 executives' homes for Budweiser, and I got tons of Bud mirrors and these PGA golf tournament Budweiser huge mirrors, and so I've sold most of that stuff because I just had no need for it. Cases of Budweiser and gorgeous Bud signs. I had a 5-foot classic lager sign I got rid of, and here's another 3D Star Trek thing. It's kind of in 3D as you move around. The picture moves somewhat. There's a Scooby-Doo thing that my daughter left behind, and then this is a Shadow of the Tomb Raider little, Black Panther that my friend Cameron gave me of Industrial Gamer. That's from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's actually a really cool skull candle. Top goes off and the thing glows. It's got a huge candle inside, and it looks really eerie when it glows through the eyes and the thin parts of the bone. But this is my big collectible shelf from my original Xbox. This is I've got 260 odd original Xbox games in here. And I got mostly racing games across the whole top shelf, and then it slowly segues into other shooters and sci-fi games and most of the Lord of the Rings games. I think I'm missing one. And then all of the, Tom Clancy games, and just great games. The Far Cry games, Freedom Fighters, Conflict Vietnam, Men of Valor. These are all just wonderful games. These games are very carefully picked. I don't just buy games for the sake of buying games. I buy games that I want or will play. Here's all 12 of the original Star Wars games and all 5 of the 007 games. I have a couple other spy-related, games, the Spy Hunter games, Spy Hunter, 1, 2, and Nowhere to Run. Here's for pre-ordering the Mad Max game. I got a little Hot Wheel car collectible sitting on my box of all my memory cards. This is full of original Xbox and mostly PlayStation 1 and 2 memory cards, including the boot up one for my modded PlayStation 2, which I've got right there. Here's all my Sega Genesis games here, flanking either side of the Mad Max car. These are all of the wonderful Atari 2600 games I got from my friend Silverwings 21. I think Super Breakout is from Mark Bussler, I believe. It's autographed. To Dean something, it says, "Thank you, Mark Bussler, Classic Game Room." This is the game he actually reviewed. This is the actual game that he reviewed of Super Breakout that he sent me. He also sent me the beer stein of the very first beer stein that he had that was a Classic Game Room one that he actually filmed the commercial with. He gave me that original glass, which I have. I have multiple t-shirts and stickers and tons of collectibles and Hot Wheels from Mark Bussler as well. These are what's left of the other 4 games other than the Wing Commander. These are the other 4 games. I got Super Strike Eagle, Outlander, Nigel Mansell's World Championship, and I'm not sure if this is, and Alien 3. So I got, at least 5, got a good head start on my Super NES. These are all my N64 games. I'm really proud of these. I got Doom 64, Quake, then I've got, Cruisin' USA, Rogue Squadron, these are all the Star Wars games, Battle for Naboo, Shadow of the Empire, fantastic game, and then the Pod Racer, or Episode 1, Pod Racer game, this is the first N64 game I played on my nephew's N64. I love it. Here's a Duke Nukem 64, fantastic game. Duke Nukem Zero Hour, the only game I have not played in the series. Very anxious to play this on the NES, on the N64. Extreme G, RR64, I think it's Ridge Racer 64, and Rush 2. That's the better of the Rush games. I have the PlayStation 1 Rush game as well. And there's a regular Rush, Extreme Racing, California Speed, and 1080 Avalanche, snowboarding. So those are all my N64 games and my Super NES games. And then I have I got a little Arnie thing from, not Commando, it is Commando. I kept saying Predator, but this is from Commando, where he's all dressed up. Or maybe this could be from Predator, I can't remember. There's the Christine car, Hot Wheels car, was sent to me from someone up in Canada, another Steve. He was a huge donator to Classic Gamer, like myself. And he sent me this Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's the F-250 work truck that Richard Dreyfuss had when he, got stopped at the train tracks there. Here is the other Duke Nukem action figure. He's sitting there with a stogie. I've taken this thing all kinds of places all over California and filmed them in big hotels and bars and restaurants. And here's a Miami Vice Hot Wheels I think I got these on eBay. Or maybe someone gave me. I can't remember. My memory's not very good. Here's the 512 Ferrari that was in the second or the third and other seasons, in the latter seasons. These are all my PlayStation 1 games, other than the tall boxes I showed earlier. Just a quick scan of all those. A lot of favorites in Twisted Metal and Nuclear Strike, Soviet Strike. Those are fantastic games. Really good games in here. And the original Mist, Wing Commander 4, Star Wars games, Road Rash games, Jet Moto games, Siphon Filter games, Medal of Honor 1 and 2, just you name it, Need for Speed games, Alien Resurrection, X-Files, Test Drive games, Rallycross games, Ridge Racer Revolution, Command and Conquer Red Alert. Here's my favorite Duke Nukem games, my favorite of them. And Cool Borders. And at the very end, I have, these are all of my, not Miami Vice, the Grand Theft Auto Vice City soundtracks, which I bought brand new. I threw the box out. I mean, I should have kept the original box. I never think about collectibles. I just want the items, There's actually, under the thing I never showed, is my Miami Vice license plate that was on my 85 Dodge Shelby Charger that I rolled up near Yosemite. I took the plate off it naturally, off the front. Amazingly, it didn't get damaged. And there's my Z Mad Max plate off my last Dodge truck. This is a little analog TV I got for free. It's a really clean, sharp 20-inch TV. It has a very limited ports in the back, and I don't have the original remote to adjust the color. I'm going to see if I still have my universal remote that I can program to it. But I may find another one or get rid of it altogether and just get an HDMI upscaler. My wife isn't real thrilled about having this thing out here, but it is what it is. But this is my other shelving unit. This is the bigger one. So I have all my consoles. I got the original Xbox, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I have here's my newer N64, and I finally got the red expansion pack inside. Had to get a little screwdriver to pry it out of there. And then you put this little trap door in there. So there's my N64, there's my GameCube that Chance donated to me a long time ago. Good buddy of mine in a Facebook group with Steve Baker. This is my Super NES. It's starting to yellow a little bit just in the very front. It's just a little yellow. It never used to be like that, but it could be the sunlight getting to it. But there's a way I can reverse that, I guess. And there is one of my 2 Sega Genesis. This one is a stereo mod in the back with RCA ports in the back. You can see them out back there for stereo, which it never originally was designed for that. But my good friend Clint, who modded my original Xbox, he put purple LEDs in this for me. This has a 500 gig hard drive. I can install and rip just endless games to it. And it's got like over 9,000, I think it's like over 9,000 classic games from PC Game Engine, Neo Geo, you name it. Super NES, Sega Genesis, PS1, original Xbox games, everything. In this CoinOps 8 Massive that's installed in this. But this is where I put all my strategy guides. So I have all starting with the Prima guides and then the old Prima guides. And then getting into the Brady guides, which Prima bought out Brady, and then the rest of the Brady strategy guides are down there in that one. And then I get my hardbound ones there. So I have a lot of strategy guides. I'll just give you a quick gander at all my guides. You can see the titles, just a shitload of them. It's so nice to have my guides. These are always in boxes. I never could see them, and I never even could remember what I had. Now I can come out here and I can see all the green ones there are all my original Xbox related guides. And there's my Rage guide for the first Rage game and other good ones. Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition and everything. Just fantastic. So it's just nice now to have all this shit in one place. Dragging this extension cord around because my battery is real weak in this. It goes out fast, and as long as I keep it plugged in, I can keep shooting. So there is all my original Xbox and PlayStation 1 games, and you can see the whole gambit here. This is kind of a slow pan of the whole room. I want to get some more of the Philip Hue lights like I have on the desk, and then have them behind this, surrounding this one and just this one over there. I don't necessarily need them back over here. I think it'll be fine. I might even put them behind this black bookcase too and get rid of those. I have a old-fashioned rope lighting behind there now, but it lights up nice. And so my desk, this is kind of my office out here. I come out here and get organized and, do all my, I have to go over my, notes from work. Each week I come out here evenings after work and, keep track of my progress on all the different projects and upload my photos in the computer here and everything. But PC I've had for a while. It's a decent PC, but not strong enough really to game on of any magnitude. I got a few little tin things on the door. this arcade tin was up here where the Mafia poster is, but I moved it down here and under that Challenger thing, and I got Star Wars. And I found this. I thought I had lost this. This is the original, number 3 Dale Earnhardt little cutout that I kind of yellowed over the years, but I stuck that up there with some double-sided 3M tape. So this is from George Barris, the famous car designer, actually gave me this as one of 3 black and white 8x10 photos of the movie The Car that he designed and built for that film with James Brolin. So I saw him for over an hour, got to visit with him through a mutual friend, and it was when the business was shut down. I could just go in and talk with him, uninterrupted, which is really nice. Spent an hour with George Barris. He's dead now, sadly. But yeah, this is this is my garage and all my gaming shit. This is my original set that I had. You typically would see this, view here of the 3 shelves and the Escape to Gaming, and I've added a few, things around it now. But so I can do my, pickups out here and what have you, and gifts. I can show on this little table, and yeah, I've got pretty much everything I need. It's a small, very concentrated selection. There's much bigger and nicer, game collections on YouTube, certainly. But these are hand-picked games that I have a few Xbox One games, not a lot, but I've got a good head start, Mad Max, I've been playing this version of it. I've got maybe 17, 18 hours back in this version of it, so I'm anxious to get back. I've been playing that MX versus ATV Legends, really a great game. So, yeah, it's just nice having all my games out here. And of course, I drive in here every day, and the minute the door opens, where I come in after a long, hard day, I got one of my airlesses way back there in the corner. But it's just nice to come out here. Typically in the summer, it's hotter than hell out here. Let me see how hot it is out here. Now I have a thermometer out here. It's probably in the 70s, close to 80. Yeah, it's probably 78 degrees. But, little Fred Flintstone, since that's me in a nutshell, caveman. And I got over here, I got an old Pabst Blue Ribbon from Blue Velvet. And then the Touch of Evil poster, one of my favorite Orson Welles pictures that's been, at the time was dismissed as a cheap movie, but actually it's a piece of art now looking back on it. And an old, 69 Charger, a little tin up there. But this is my game room, guys. It's kind of a 2-car long garage that most guys put their boat or their muscle cars in or whatever, but instead we have an exercise setup out here, and then we have the game room, which is really nice. And I've got my RAM here, which I'm going to be doing a review of my RAM now that I've had it, over a little over a year now. It's only got like 6,800 miles on it. It hasn't even hit 7,000 miles. I've only had one oil change in it. So, and I've got a bunch of my car painting stuff. I just cover it with this moving blanket to keep it protected from dust and what have you. So I haven't done anything with these other walls yet. I don't know if I'm going to put art on them or not, but I've just kind of kept everything just to this one side. But it's I put this rug, my wife got a new rug for the living room, and she gave me this one, which we had under the coffee table. So it looked nice out here with the gray, and I thought it just cuts down on the sound level a little bit, having it out here, because these, epoxy concrete floors are just really, they echo a lot out here. But this is it. This is my little private Idaho, pun intended. And it's just nice being out here in a place I can come and relax, and I can game out here. I can hook up one of my, this one is really set up for component cables, or S-Video, this TV, this older style TV. So I can hook my modded PlayStation 2 or one of my 2 modded original Xboxes up to this, and I can hook my PVR up and record via my PC there, and then I can play my games, right on the screen there, right at my desk. I have it kind of angled down. I can angle this thing, flat, or angle it down. It's angled down a little bit, so I don't have to, break my neck looking up at it. But it's a nice game room. I'm real happy with it, and it's a nice place. My wife can come out here, listen to tunes, and work out. And so it works out good for both of us. She has her car outside right now in the driveway, but both cars fit in here nicely, and it works out well. I'm going to be doing showing some custom graphics. I'm going to be sanding and painting with automotive paint on this truck really soon to customize it. I usually wait at least a year before I do any graphics. I want to measure twice and paint once, basically. So once you sand it and paint it, you pretty much ruined it. So you better make sure you're happy with it.
But I love the truck. It's been real reliable. My last one I had for almost 13 years. It never once broke down on me. The most reliable vehicle of the 92 vehicles I've owned. And so I couldn't help myself but buy another one. Sadly, this will be the last of the Hemi, internal combustion engine Rams or muscle car type trucks, because they're all going to go away real soon thanks to this, I'll save it, keep it to myself. But anyway, so that's it, guys. Just a quick tour of everything. You've seen this before, but I thought this is my first cat, Max, that passed away, years ago. He's 14 years old. I love that picture of him. I got to find a place for that here. I just kind of put it down there for right now. But that's it. You can kind of see my setup, and it's still work in progress, but it's pretty much, I've reached my peak. There's a few games here and there for every system I want to get, 4 for this one and 10 for that one and maybe 20 for the Xbox 360, but I got most of what I want. I'm pretty happy with the stuff that I have right now. So anyway, that's it, guys. Let me turn this thing around here. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back with more videos soon. I'm trying to do these like one a week, and I just haven't been able to really afford the time with work. And then this thing with my mom just really was, I had to like plan it overnight. It cost us almost $1,000 to go down there. It was so much money, and then if we had had more time to book the tickets, I probably could have got a better deal on them. And you have to get flights and change over in Phoenix, and it was a big convoluted mess, unfortunately. But we had a great time, and I'm glad I went. It made my mother's life very happy. She held my hand. We watched a movie one night. She held my hand the whole night and was holding it so tight. And you can see she sees the ends in sight, and she's scared somewhat. She's got regrets, and as I do, as we all do. And so it was nice, and I want to see her in the spring. I don't want to wait so long this next time, so I'm going to try to see her more. And gaming with Ray, I did more gaming with him than I've done in years. And if he can do it at 85, then I should be able to stop whining and come home and squeeze an hour or two in myself. So I got to start making more time for gaming and not just waiting until the weekends, which is primarily when I do it. But I am encouraged when I see an 85-year-old with a controller in his hand, italicized, trying to beat something, and it's just like, wow, I got to get on it. This guy's completing more games than I am. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your games and your collections, and I'll be back real soon.